Hi. Y'all doing good? We all right? I love the movie. Wish it was longer. Like the video, guys, for sure. Let's do that for sure. Okay. Hey, somebody said the movie was trash. Okay. A lot of y'all are happy y'all finally caught alive. Next weekend, the Whitney and Bobby movie. I am tired of Whitney Houston documentaries. I've had it up to here. I want you guys to stop. I feel like anything else that we don't know, unless it's like some ulterior story to how she died, I don't want to hear anymore. Like, I'm good. I'm good on it. And I love Whitney. So I'm probably going to watch it anyway. Because I just like watching anything with Whitney on it. Like specifically, like just watching old footage of her. Like, I miss her. So like the video as you guys come into the room, because you know you're going to enjoy this live because I had a good night, so I'm on one. And this is my last bit of work for the day. Oh yes, I am off after today. Like today is one of my best friend's birthday. And tonight, you know, we're going out to dinner and we're doing like a little impromptu on the go photo shoot type of situation for her. So I have other things to do today. And I got to work out because y'all know this challenge is still not over. Oh, yes, we're still in the challenge. Today is the last day that we have a workout that she tells us to do, because tomorrow is the very last day of the work of this challenge, that new challenge with LASHAE on ifyoucanmove.com. If you guys did not know, because you haven't been here before, but if you've been here before, then you should know. That my sexiness is brought to you by months and months and months of doing challenges on ifyoucanmove.com. But yes, there are 356 of you guys in the room. Please like the video, and I'm about to get into my notes. First of all, let's hold up. Let me get this comment off. I actually liked the documentary. It gave a Grey Gardens tea for sure. It definitely felt like I want Wendy to find like real true blue girlfriends that help her have a level of normalcy. Because someone who relies only on themselves because their marriage didn't work out and like they have no real like friends and shit, that's scary to me. That's scary to me. So like the documentary, we're going to get into it, but it definitely left me feeling more worried about Wendy than I was. So yes, also, excuse me, let me clear my voice. I just got up like 30 minutes ago. So I also reviewed Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's what I was going to say. I actually did a whole bunch of reviews just to give you guys a run through before we get into my notes, because I just want to make sure that y'all are aware, because I know you guys don't get the notifications the way you should all the time. Okay, so just so we're clear, this live that you're in, hi, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Lovecraft Country episodes 7 and 8, which I put into one. Bell Collective, Love After Lockup, Married at First Sight, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Sisters, Bridgerton, the last 2 episodes, 911, and All American. Those are the videos that have been put out this week. Okay, and they coincide with the episode that came out this week. Okay, just so we're all aware, because I feel like sometimes, you know, y'all don't know what I'm putting out. Okay, so I want y'all to know. Thank you so much for the super chat, everybody that cash apped in the last live, everybody that super chatted in the last live. Y'all have no idea how much I appreciate that. Like, that video got flagged and y'all, so many of y'all were watching it that I didn't want to take it down, so I left it up. They finally approved it this morning, but I probably went that whole day without making a lot of money off that video. So you guys, super chats definitely help, you know, kind of balance that out for when YouTube wants to, like, you know, be mean about it or whatever. Like, you cutting me off from making money on the first day of the video is kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're just going to go ahead and approve it later on. And it'd be different if it was something I was uploading, but it's alive. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, love you, Bonzi. Been trying to catch a live for a minute. I'm a Texan trans black man in Philly. I love everything you talk about. Oh, thank you, love. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the mess. So these are the main two actors, and I'm going to start here. They both did excellent jobs. They both did excellent jobs. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? And this is why it is so important to find the right actors, because a lackluster script or a story that has been cut down into pieces, the way Wendy cut her story down, like, it was good. It flowed better than Salt and Pepper. Like, it didn't feel so it didn't feel so choppy, but it also left a lot to be desired. It also probably left out some other moments that would have been better in movie form. Like the fact that she completely skipped over the first marriage. Like, come on, Wendy. Like, you could have gave us a little something on that. But something makes me feel like this was mostly based off of that first book that she wrote. And she did not actually go in and expand on the old story, but just added in the more recent issues with her and Kevin. Okay, but yes, back to the actors. Hold up, let me see. Where we at with it? Okay, this lady here, yo. Like, I feel like dude over here is always typecast. Okay, he's the security guard on what you call him, down in the valley where the girls get naked, you know, on P Valley. He's a security guard on that, so he kind of is typecast as a tough guy, so we get that. Miss Girl over here, okay, listen, whose name escapes me in the moment. I know somebody gonna put it in the comments. I don't know why I'm talking that country. Sierra, yes. Sierra did that. We know she's on The Oval, I believe, but I've seen her in other things as well. But she was impeccable. When I look at a good actor, I'm looking for character acting. No, you didn't. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, Sydney. I love your content. Have fun, friend in my head. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Also, thank you, Anika. Thank you. Oh, I love y'all. Y'all are just showing love like early this morning for me. Charlie's afternoon. My mama then went to church, came back and everything. And I'm like, good morning. Okay, listen, my night ended hella late. Anyway, back to them. But thank y'all so much for this. Yes, Sierra Peters did that shit. Or is it Peyton? We don't know what it is. Okay, I'll look it up. Let me hurry up and look it up. Normally I would have had this in my notes, but I just want to say how important it is to find someone who is a character actor. And what that means is the person can embody another person's mannerisms and physicality. And as soon as the movie started, I was like, this girl is on it. Yes, Sierra Payton. Okay. Sierra Payton absolutely made this movie work. I feel like if they would have had a lesser actress play Wendy, this would not have been as good as it was. Okay. Now, I know some of y'all may have thought it was trash. Y'all may not have enjoyed it, but I did. Okay. I watched it from beginning to end. I also watched the documentary, which I felt like we did not need both. I'm going to be honest. I felt like we did not need both of those things because they basically covered the same amount of things with just maybe 3 or 4 extra little tidbits of information on the same stories. So I just kind of felt like, you know, it was unnecessary. She's from New Orleans. Shout out to her. Yes. And she went to NOCA. I went to NOCA. Oh my God. Sierra, hi. You know, you always love when people are from New Orleans. Like, girl, good for you. Oh my God. Like, cause we like y'all just not getting on us. We've been popping for a while, but it's been like a lesser known secret. Katrina happens, we get all of this publicity to the city, and now, you know, we blow up Shway. Okay. But anyway, so Wendy does a Wendy show intro to her story, and she's really good. You know, she's got the posture, she's got her head up in the air, she's doing the Wendy. Okay, she's got the voice, everything's amazing. Okay. We see Wendy's childhood. She's always been loud and messy, and her family would have to tell her, hey, don't run your mouth too heavy today. Chill out, okay? They would have to tell her that. Child, I'm going to tell y'all what this really did for me. Wendy has no idea how she has paved the way. And I think a lot of y'all don't know that either. Because when you really look back on it, nobody was talking about Black people gossip until Wendy really started doing it. It was shit that was kitchen table talk, but it wasn't on the cover of these magazines like that. It wasn't on the Tonight Show like that. That's why we never watched those things and why we're removed from them in a way, because they never really talked about us unless it was the really, really big stars. But then they would talk about white people that we didn't even know. We'd be sitting up there like, who the hell is that? And they bring up some old ass show from the 70s and we'd have to be like, oh, you know. But I feel like Wendy definitely brought like the people that matters to the culture. As much as she has said some ignorant shit about, you know, the affairs of Black people throughout her time on that show, at the end of the day, her existence has added to the value of Black people to me, because I feel like her doing that allowed for all of the people that came after her to do this shit. And that includes all of the big YouTubers. That includes all of the big people on the radio, the Breakfast Club and Hot 97 and all of them. They have Wendy to thank for what we now do as far as blogs and all of that. You have got to admit that. And at the end of the day, when I look at her, I saw myself. I'm the loud one. I'm the one that you have to tell not to be too damn honest in front of these people because they don't need to know all that. Okay. Like, or you don't need to. I used to read people down and didn't even know that that's what I was doing. I was just very matter of fact, but I would also spend a lot of time with older cousins and my grandmother. So I didn't spend a lot of time with people that, you know, sugar-coated shit. I didn't understand what that was, and people expected me to because I was a child, but I'm being raised by people that's always talking that real shit. And I feel like it was the same thing with Wendy. Her parents, you made this lady's weight a topic of conversation every day of her childhood, putting her on a scale and like you know, putting her on weird ass diets, tuna fish and mustard and all of this type of stuff. Like, they really beat it into Wendy's head that she was not good enough because she was not skinny. Like your dad telling you you would be so pretty if you were a little thin. Like, that is shitty. Like, that is really, really shitty. It should not be talked about every day like that. When I had gained weight around that age, because I feel like some of us go through that around like 9 through 13 is a weird stage, and it's also a weird weight stage as well. So for me, I had gained a little weight, like maybe when I was around 12. So I wasn't old enough to go to a gym. So my mom like forged my age, and we went to the gym around the corner from the house, and we worked out together. And we worked out until I eventually lost the weight, like over the summer. And by the time I went back to school, it wasn't like that anymore. And then, you know, so that became a part of my life over time. And it's just now I'm probably in the best shape of my entire life because I was like, you know what? I'm about to get too old. This metabolism about to slow down. I ain't got time for this shit. I don't want to be an out of shape, you know, 40-year-old woman, especially when I feel like I have all of this good natural shit. It needs to look good, and it looks good most to me, and I feel better when I'm in shape. So I understand the weight thing, but I feel like there's a way to do it that doesn't lead to unhealthiness. And I feel like the way Wendy's parents went at her about her weight was very unhealthy. And the fact that they laugh about it later just shows you how fucked up the mentality really is, because you still feel like that was okay. You still feel like it was okay to make your daughter's body a topic of conversation to the point where she was bulimic at one point. But then she found out through the magazines and the tabloids that a lot of celebrities that were bulimic had rotted their teeth out. So she's like, well, I can't do that. And then it just, you know, got on cocaine. Like, she started doing cocaine, I'm sure, to keep up with the amount of work she was doing, because Wendy's a hustler, baby. Also, on top of that, you got to be up early in the morning. When you do them, like when you first start out in news or radio, they always put you on the shit shift, which is overnight. And in order to be up and awake when you have other shit to do throughout the day, like most people do, She probably was doing that coke to stay awake. Then she noticed it helped her keep her weight down. Like, it had all of these benefits besides, you know, making you look way too old too soon. But I also want to like give a moment to the fact that I don't like the way the media and people talk about Black women. And I'm not going to say it's just Black women, because they do talk about a lot of white women, you know, in this same way, where they're always judging how they look. And the way people talked about Wendy, calling her a monster, you know, like even on other people's YouTube channels, the way I've heard them talk about her, even to this day, like, oh, she doesn't, you know, I can't imagine somebody wanting to have sex with her. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all sound crazy as hell. Like, y'all sound crazy as hell. I don't care who you are. Whenever you say some shit like that about another woman, like, in my head, automatically, I'm just kind of like, what's going on with you? Like, what's going on with you? And I'm just going to post, you know, I'm going to put up a few pictures. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm gathering a few pictures that I meant to get earlier of her from like earlier in her career and when she was younger, because I feel like Wendy's terrible choices in wigs and maybe overdoing her makeup like a white lady. Like, I think Wendy did that a lot, and that probably made her look worse. But when I look at some of these older pictures of Wendy, I'm like annoyed at the way people talk about her like she a dog. You know what I'm saying? Is it just me? Like, when you were watching the documentary and looking at some of these old photos of Wendy, like, yeah, she ain't got no ass. There are a lot of people who don't have ass. Like, it's not a big deal. And then in the early 90s and shit, when Wendy was really young and popping, it was all about titties. Like, I just want to put that out there. It was all about titties. But I feel like if it had not been for how much she worked, okay, I really love this really young picture of her with her original nose. Here's the thing. I think Wendy's very beautiful. I think Wendy has surgery. I think cocaine is a hell of a drug. And I think over the years with her having what is it? I think she has Graves' disease. Like, she's not exactly like at full health or anything. And I think eventually those things, along with the drug use, you know, they will wear down that good melanin. You know, melanin can't make it through everything, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But like right here, like, y'all always talk about Wendy like she looks like a man and all of that type of shit. And I feel like she very much looks like a woman to me. You know what I'm saying? She may not have the best figure, but if we're talking about face and hair, like early on in Wendy's career, she was very much giving. Okay, so I really would like to address that narrative, because I feel like y'all did the same thing to Whoopi Goldberg when I was growing up. I saw somebody post a picture today talking about how beautiful they feel like Whoopi Goldberg is. And I'm like, people don't say anything about it, because when we were growing up, everybody talked about her like she was the ugliest thing they'd ever seen, because she has Afro, you know, Negroid features. You know what I'm saying? The way her mouth is. Honestly, I felt like the fact that she didn't have any eyebrows was rather bothersome. But ultimately, I feel like I just wanted to address the way I feel like people have constantly went at Wendy on her physicality. And I feel like that needs to stop. Like, you don't have to like the way somebody looks. And if you want to rip them because you mad at them, I get that too. But the way people just be like, oh, she's a dog. And, you know, I just kind of feel like, yeah, no, I don't really feel that way. And I don't like that people do that. And I feel like that probably adds to the already existing issues that she feels about herself, and the fact that she's been able to still continue to be somebody that has to make their money based off of their face and them talking and all of that type of shit. I feel like that is a testament to Wendy's strength. This whole movie documentary situation is a testament to the determination of Black women, that no matter what happens, if we said we gonna make this shit happen, this shit gonna happen, whether you like it or not. And it wasn't like people didn't try to stop her, because she would get on, you know, at a radio show, she would be doing her thing and they didn't like it. It was too messy. They kick her off the show. Or if they don't kick her off the show, they keep her in contract so that she can't go anywhere else. So she went from New York to Philly, met Kevin. Eventually, I think, got out of the whole situation in Philly, went back to New York. Kevin is a cheater. So at this point, Kevin's cheating on her. Sis had to get her a little AIDS test because that was popping during that time. So she had to get herself together. This probably during these years, okay? But the thing about her and Kevin, so to me, it seems as if Kevin was a protector. Kevin was a protector and Wendy needed one. Wendy was on the radio talking cash money shit about people and they were not happy about it. And they even talked about how Total and them showed up to kick ass one day. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. Okay. But yes, Wendy needed Kevin. And that's why she stayed with him for so long. I also think, there's an attraction to the bad boy thing, and she's not exempt from that. You know what I mean? Also, Wendy went through like several miscarriages, you guys. She got off the drugs, though. She had got off the drugs, I think, after that first cheatation, and she had lost the job or whatever. And she was like, I'm going to get off the drugs. And she kicked the drugs in 4 days and never went back to coke. So she says. I believe that because I feel like if she were back on coke, she probably would have had a worse breakdown than she did. I do feel like it probably was, alcohol and probably a little bit of some nighttime pills to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. I'm not even going to lie. But I don't feel like that's any different than what most people do. Like, I know most people may not drink and take them a little, Ambien or something like that. But I know plenty of people who do. Okay. She did not get off the drugs. It took a long time. Oh, okay. Well, she said it took her 4 days once she decided to kick the drugs. This is what she said during the movie. She was on drugs for years, but I believe I think she got off the drugs before the coke because she thought her not being able to keep the pregnancy was because of the years of coke use. So, I think y'all got it mixed up. But I believe that she had quit the coke before she started trying to have kids. So she had all these miscarriages, actually had to give birth to a stillborn baby, which is, oh my God, like terrible. And those of y'all who say y'all don't feel sorry for her, I feel like, that goes on what I was saying yesterday. There are a lot of y'all that don't understand because something is, wrong inside with you guys, but I could never listen to a woman cry about giving birth to a dead baby and say, I don't feel bad for her. Like the fuck? I may not necessarily feel bad about the cheatations because the shit happens, but at the end of the day, I will always have compassion in my heart for somebody that had to give birth to a deceased child. Like, are you kidding me? I need y'all to do better. That's just how I feel about that. But yes, that was hard for her. Okay. And eventually, when she found out she had a weak cervix, child, you got to get you a good doctor because you can go through all of these shitty ass doctors and they'll have you all messed up thinking that it's your fault, thinking that something is wrong with you when really your cervix is a little weak. And if you'd have sat your ass down, you might have been able to keep one of your pregnancies, but nobody told you that shit. Right. So Wendy gets on a good foot. She goes on bed rest, does her radio show from home, has Lil Kevin. Lil Kevin ain't even a month old, and she finds out that Kevin is cheating. Okay. And cheating with some girl. This was when she had to get the STD test, right? This was when that happened. Child, I'm all over in my notes. And I even skipped over the part where she got pregnant for Eric B from thinking of a master plan. Death with the record. But they didn't even give him like Eric B the rapper. Like it kind of gave young dude that I'm paying for who has good D and he ruins my credit and damn near has the police coming down to arrest me over a rental. You know what I'm saying? She got him a rental because he took her car and spent too much time away with her car, made her late for work. So she rents him a rental car on her credit card. He never gives it back. Sadie gave it back. And police come looking for her. And then he shows up with an attitude, throws the keys at her like, fuck her, like she did something. I was just like, wow. She found out she was pregnant. She had an abortion. Time goes on. She meets Kevin. Kevin's a cheater too, but we're used to people treating us like shit and feeling like we don't deserve better because people have told us our entire life we're so pretty butt and all this type of stupid shit that gets ingrained in who you are when your parents don't teach you how to love yourself and kind of want to pinpoint everything that's wrong with you. Like, all of that links to her making bad decisions in the men that she decided to be with, including Kevin. Okay. So Right. Like after like 94, she meets Kevin and all of that. She had got her boobs done after having a baby. The boob job really gave her confidence and everything. And when you see Wendy like back in the day, real slim and everything, I was like, Wendy did look good, y'all. Like the coke hadn't gotten under the eyes, as much as we thought. But Wendy kept insinuating that Puffy was gay on the radio. So, that's what got her sent away from New York. Puffy definitely got her kicked out of New York for a while. And if it wasn't for the fact that she was so popping in Philly, I don't know if she would have been able to come back to New York the way she did. And plus, they hadn't replaced her. Okay. So, like I said, has Kevin, finds out about Mistress, wants to kick the bitch ass, but decides not to do it. Okay, decides she's not gonna have any more children for Kevin after that, and whatever. She starts to be the big girl when she gets back to New York. You're interviewing Whitney. The interview with Whitney, from what the documentary said, was a phone call. Whitney didn't know that they were on the radio, so they posted that shit and put it up because they knew people would be like, "Oh my god, oh my god." Cursing Wendy the fuck out. Y'all, that is still one of the best interviews that I've ever heard in my life. And people can say what they will, but Wendy, to me, proved how good she is at this shit when she kept that conversation going. She antagonized Whitney enough for Whitney to give everything, kind of was laying it out angrily because she was high. And Wendy noticed because Wendy has been through the coke, through all of that. So she already know what it's hitting for. So I think, and also because of, word on the curb, you're getting your word on the street from people who are actually out there on the streets. Okay. That's another thing about Wendy. She wasn't getting it from insiders in the industry. She was getting it from the word on the curb. Okay. And back then the word on the curb was a little bit more reliable than the one you find these days. Okay. But yes. So the Whitney thing really catapulted her and blew shit up. You know what I'm saying? You get your TV show, you got your baby, you're living your amazing life, you're doing it. Child, they played the shit out of Charlamagne the God. I do not have a picture of him, but the guy they got to play him, that was so disrespectful. To me, I didn't even think she would have him in the movie. Like, I thought she was going to completely act like Charlamagne never existed or some shit. So the fact that she even said, Charlamagne, who's that? But that's because she had to show that Charlamagne was the link between Kelvin and Sharina. Okay, aka Nikki, who he grew up with. Okay, the girl who Kelvin got pregnant. All right, y'all, that shit was terrible. Okay, like it seemed as if, and this is what it seemed like from the movie, Wendy found out like 13 years ago that he was cheating. Okay, kept that shit on the low, got her ducks in a row. All right, but thank you, Quaisha. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But and thank you, Devin. I enjoyed the narrative format of the movie, but yes, we didn't need both. We didn't need both at all. Thank you so much for your super chat. Outside of the two main characters, yeah, you could possibly say that the casting was terrible, but I feel like people did good acting. Charlamagne glowed up, leveled up for sure. And the funny part about it is, him being on her show was the only reason why I watched The Breakfast Club, because I remember him on her show and he was such an asshole, but I thought he was funny. And I like that he said real shit sometimes, regardless of how people felt about it. So yeah, but either way, he's, paying for shit for Sharina and all of that. And he bought her the house. Wendy found out from one of the homeboys that he got Sharina a house a few blocks away from their house. And that's when she kind of like lost her shit. So she goes over to the house and starts taking pictures and shit. Okay, looking through the windows. Is there a chandelier? Like, I was just like, bitch. She was like, this has dogs. He has dogs over here. Like, I know, right? Like, he's living here. Like, that's insane. Like, down the street, you guys. And then one day, the bitch pulls into the cul-de-sac. She pulled into Wendy's cul-de-sac and took pictures of Wendy's house and then drove back down the street to her house. I said, bitch, you got me fucked up. Yo, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it, Summer. Y'all know that's why I'm here. So I can tell y'all what happened without y'all having, being there. Yes, her gluing that mailbox shut, and then she spray painted on the garage, Wendy and Kevin forever. Y'all, 9 miles away. 9 miles away. Okay, like bold as Wendy hood. Yeah, Wendy's definitely hood. Like Wendy been hood. She's been telling y'all that, but she's not a fighter. That's the difference. Okay. Wendy is not a fighter. She needed her protector, and now her protector is the issue. You know what I'm saying? So the Sharina chick, bruh, to me, it feels like Wendy probably didn't even tell as much of the go-between that there's probably been. Her gluing that mailbox shut was hilarious, though. Wendy wanted to leave then, but Lil Kevin had 2 years left in school, so she decided to go ahead and live through it. And she drank her way through it. Okay. Then she passed out on air in 2017. I'll never forget that. I was in LA with my sister, and my sister was watching it and turned it on. Child. We were sitting there glued to the TV. Okay. Kevin wants her to go to rehab and uses their son to make her do it. Then the blogs start posting about Kevin getting Sharina pregnant. So she feels pressured to go back to her show, and then she feels pressured to talk about it, right? So in 2019, she tells folks that she's been in a sober house. That was the first time Wendy had actually addressed all of the things that we had been hearing, okay? And then Kevin starts acting an asshole at the show, showing up late, not being there, acting a fool with everybody. He was already like her protector and somebody that a lot of people were scared of. Like, people are scared of Kevin, okay? Charlemagne has said it before. Many people have said that Kevin was not to be played with, okay? So he starts throwing his weight around, and that causes the issue at the show, okay? He's starting to ruin the business. So now Wendy's like, you know, I got to do something, right? He puts her in the rehab. The rehab, I think those people were being paid by him directly because they were driving her back and forth from work to the sober house, and they took her phone. They took television away, which you would think is normal and everything, but it was probably more so to keep Wendy from knowing about the shit that was being said about the Sharina chick, because everybody's still counting on Wendy to get back on air. To me, it seemed as if Kevin basically tried to take over Wendy's business by trying to prove that she was crazy or couldn't control herself, or that she was like really out here messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he was trying to make it seem like she was really out here doing bad drugs and shit, made her parents think that, so that he can get control. And he had medical proxy over her, which made it even worse. Okay. So she had to like stage a coup, like a little secret meeting with all of her people at the Wendy show, jump out of the car and run back to the Wendy show to have this meeting with people so that she could get her shit in order and separate herself financially from Kevin. Okay. But he had done a lot of shit to like basically put her in a headlock. You know, at first it was the emotional shit, the, you know, I'm sorry, baby, please shit. Okay. First it was that. That's the emotional clutch. Then you put her in rehab and take control of the business situation, and now she can't make any decisions for herself. You're using her money to fund you and your side bitch's lifestyle, the businesses he had put together for. Like, Wendy is still very much hurt behind this shit. Like, very, very much hurt. She cried through most of the documentary, and it definitely gave Grey Garden tea. I say that again. Her laying there, you know, with the machine on her legs, eating her caviar with the, you know, hot Cheetos on top, like, definitely gives, you know, I'm nervous for Wendy type of vibe. I thought she was better than she is, to be honest. Watching her cry like that about it all, it probably was very cleansing for her, but I also feel like in some way, it scared me for her. And it's just terrible. I don't know if I can say he didn't love her. They were together for a very long time, but I definitely feel like he saw early on what his life with Wendy could be like. I don't know if I can say he never loved her, because right now, you know, he's still being there for her in one capacity or another. And I still feel like that's tied to her being the purse. I think anything he does for her will, you know, kind of feel like he's doing it for the long haul, to make sure she always feels like he's there for her, regardless if they're together or not. That means he'll still have some type of connection to the business and to the money and all of that type of shit. Y'all like the video, please. Okay, I'm serving, I'm giving. Please like the video. But she let him know that he would starve without her. Okay, she went back to work. she broke off from him. And then, we see Wendy saying, I finally made myself proud, and I'm happy for Wendy for getting free of him, but I don't know if I feel like she's still free, because the way she talked about him when all of that shit happened with her brother, and how Kevin came in and we're the hunters, and we're like, okay, we'll put our hands in and be like, okay, we're hunters. And that shit makes me nervous. And the way she cried during the documentary, even though, like I said, cleansing, I feel like there's a level to it that makes me feel like she still loves him. And if he were just sorry enough and got rid of the side chick, then maybe, the situation might change. Because she's still having lunch with him. He's still showing up for her in one capacity or another. But yeah, thankfully she's in therapy. She definitely is somebody that needs to be in therapy. Okay. Thank you, Shampe. Thank you so much. This was filmed a bit ago because her mom was still alive, right? I think she's still struggling, but hopefully she's better since filming. I hope so. I know it was a while ago, but still, y'all, like, something makes me feel like she's still in that same mindset. I'm surprised they also didn't talk about like the partying that she had been doing after the fact. They didn't really touch on that, or did I miss it? But anyway, so the documentary, things that I mentioned from the documentary. She got a new apartment and there are cats everywhere. She was on her lymphedema machine. She says Kevin fucked up and she's her most special friend. She's being dramatic. This is going down. She was doing a lot to be dramatic, but then also she's just also like fully in her emotions during this documentary. Her parents are acting like it was all fun and a good time during her childhood, when we obviously see that it wasn't. They discuss her weight. Her dad was the first man to bring attention to her weight. Tommy says it was a burden always defending Wendy. Also, I thought it was funny how Tommy and Wendy were like BFF. He's like, she's my best friend in the documentary versus what we're seeing now. That shit was kind of weird. Okay. Then Wendy started throwing up. She found out, about the teeth thing. I told y'all she quit that. Wendy saw she could get surgery instead. So as a kid, she started adding surgery to her list of things to do. Thank you, socially, Stacey J. You are slaying this recap. Thank you. Thank you so much. She talks about her assaults with Sherrick, and I talked about that on the Bondi Blue show. Y'all are showing out in the super chat. I really appreciate y'all today. There 1,700 people like the video. She doesn't have any friends, and I feel like that's because she feels like she can't trust a lot of people. And I also feel like people feel like they can't trust her. I think she mixes antidepressants and alcohol for sure. I don't think that Kevin was completely lying about her not being, her being a little bit unhinged. Like, I kind of do believe that. They had Kima from Total on the documentary coming on to talk about how Total was waiting outside the building to kick Wendy's ass when Kevin showed up to save the day. And then Wendy, points her middle finger out the window. And they laughed it off and they let it go. But they showed up ready to whip Wendy's ass. She was like, we're not going to jump you. I was like, shit. Then she talks about finding Kevin cheating right after having little Kevin. She cries while drinking her champagne. Okay. Kevin is feared and protective. He fires her security guard because he thought they were too close. He was abusing the station management. She says that Kevin never beat her. I don't know if I believe that. I feel like maybe he didn't physically put his hands on her. And I feel like I'm glad that he didn't, because he's obviously much bigger and stronger than her. And I think that Wendy isn't a fight you type of woman. She doesn't seem like the type. So there would be no reason for him to do that. But what I will say is that I feel like all abuse isn't physical. And just because he did not beat her does not mean that he wasn't abusing her by making her feel like she needed him. And then he'd also said things like, everything I've built for us. What? You were basically overpriced security. You were overpriced security. That's all you were. Okay. You were a 2-for-1, management and security. And then you weren't even doing your job as management. In all honesty, the fact that Wendy made it as far as she did is a testament to her own strength and not his, because I feel like he got in the way. He stopped her from forming relationships with people throughout the years that would have been beneficial to her career, to be honest. He created a separation between her and other people. Okay. I know y'all too. Jasmine, thank you. I love you. Okay. Y'all laughing. I ain't. is a mental and emotional abuser for sure. Okay, so he embarrassed her in front of the crew. Then Sharina, this backwoods bitch, when she called Sharina a backwoods bitch, I could have cried. I thought that shit was hilarious. Not a backwoods bitch, Wendy. Okay. Then we see Wendy passing out on the Halloween show because she had been drinking her ass off and mixing them, mixing that medication. He did isolate her, another sign of abuse. But he scooped her up, came to save the day, and she finishes her show. Another reason she felt like he was for her, because he always was able to push her to keep doing what she needed to do, which at certain times is what you need, but at other times it just seems like somebody that's trying to make sure that you out there making money for them. He was a pimp, so to speak. Okay. Then Wendy talks about when that bitch rolled up to her house taking pictures and shit. Let me tell y'all something. Sharina is so lucky that Wendy is not a fighter. She is so lucky that Wendy didn't have homegirls like Mary J. Blige and that would have got some homegirls that could have take a hit, could take some jail time. Thank you. I love you so much. To show up and beat your ass. You are very lucky that Wendy was an isolated person, because Sharina deserved to get her ass beat. She was doing too much as far as I'm concerned. Then she talks about the halfway house and the horrible people who were controlling her life. Then the divorce is announced. Her parents had strokes while she was in the sober living home, which she, I'm sure, feels some type of way about with Kevin. Thank you, Monica, Denise, Dennis. Okay. Wendy said he didn't beat her, but her body language and the long pause after that statement communicated otherwise. I feel like that's because it's probably been like some choke up shit, some yoke up shit. It's not exactly like punching you in the face or some shit, but it's definitely moments where he is physically controlling you, and that is physical abuse. Okay. But she got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at the end, and then they like blurred out her son's face. I feel like we've seen Lil Kevin. Why are they blocking his face out? I didn't understand that. I really didn't. Before we press on with my, thank you. Hey, Bondy, my twin sister. Absolutely love you too. Before I get into my final thoughts on all of this, I would just like to remind everybody that I review Lovecraft Country. I review Love and Marriage Huntsville, Sisters, All American, 911, The Bell Collective, Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, Married at First Sight, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm probably going to do a live tomorrow for Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I'm not going to be fooling with it tonight. But yes, and Love After Lockup. I just wanted y'all to know what the recent videos are. Also, the final Bridgerton review is up, so y'all check that out as well. Like the video, support my other content if you like any of those other shows. All American is off the chain this season so far, and it's only like episode 2. So yes, Wendy. Like I said, we didn't need both the documentary and the movie, but I felt like the movie was still good. I feel like it was good for Sierra Payton, because she did such a really great job. And I feel like this in some way will help her career for sure. We'll probably be seeing a lot more of her. But I do feel like the documentary was very raw, and I think it was real, and I appreciated that. And I feel like that was also needed, to watch her tell her own story in her own words. So I feel like maybe we could have gotten this like over time or something, but both of them coming on back to back, I had to break it up. You know what I'm saying? I stopped and went watched Love and Marriage Huntsville and did my review for that, and then I came back because I was just like, okay, enough. You know what I'm saying? For one night. I do feel like the movie could have been longer and we could have went into more detail about certain things, but I did appreciate how it flowed. You know what I'm saying? It was a quick flow, but it was definitely flowing. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, we didn't like, the guy who played Charlemagne. And I feel like there were a lot of things that I would have liked more clarification on. Fine. We got that. But all in all, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie for the good acting and for the looks, because Wendy was given like, her high pony and shit. Like the girl Sierra was so captivating playing Wendy that's what kept my attention most of the time, was just watching her really like step into Wendy's posture and vocals and attitude, and the way she would like correct herself when she was emotional. Like all of that was captivating to me. So I appreciated that. I also appreciated being able to see Wendy as like this working girl and what her life was like partying and enjoying herself before she got with Kevin. Like, she's always said she had a full life, and I feel like we could have saw more of that. Honestly, I would have wanted to see a little bit more of the party days, but it probably was all like a haze for her. Thank you for the super chat. When you've been with someone so long, the thought of starting over is exhausting, especially when you know you'll just be going through the motions because you'll never love the same. Love you, by the way. Thank you. I love you too. And I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. I think it's so easy for people to be like, oh, you should have left, or she should have been left. I think that's so easy for everybody to say. But I definitely see that I feel like Kevin loved Wendy at some point. I feel like eventually it just became all about what she could do for him. And I think it maybe started out being about what she could do for him. But I still feel like they had fun together. I still feel like he took care of her and was there for her, you know, at times when he didn't necessarily have to be. But yes, that all still to me links back to you knowing that you were playing the long game, and that if you be there for her forever, then she would always be there to do for you. Oh my God, child, Miss Chalet is on, and Miss Chalet just got in the bed, and there's some other bitch in the bed, and then she fought her, and now she's sitting up here with Dre, like, you know, it wasn't his fault. Child, I'm sorry, y'all. That caught me off guard right then. But yes, I still think that the movie was good. And I appreciate Wendy for being honest and spilling her tea, because I think for so long it has gone against her brand for her not to have been open and honest and shady about her own situation the way she's been about other people's situations. So I appreciated this for what it was. And it was her bearing her soul and allowing y'all to judge her the way she has judged other people, which is what a lot of people was asking of her. So I feel like that's what she gave. But yes, Wendy had goals, plans, and vision for her life, and I will always respect that. And I will always feel like I have benefited from Wendy doing everything that she did. I feel directly like I benefit from Wendy Williams doing what she has done in her life. So I will always love her and have an affection for her because of that. Even though I don't agree with everything she says, even though I don't watch the show like I used to, I still hope that Wendy continues to win. And I think it might be time for her to start figuring out how to become the executive producer when somebody else is doing the work. And I mean that, you know, also in a capacity of not always having to get up on television every day, because I just feel like, you know, it might be a lot at this point, and she may need to work more on herself and building that cake up. Now, I know she got her cake up, don't get me wrong, but I feel like with Kevin and the alimony and the side bitch child, you can never have too much cake when you got all these people you paying for. Okay. But yes, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. The documentary was juicy. We appreciate it. And you know, that's it. That's all I got. That's all I feel. Let's see what y'all are saying. Wendy's hustle is inspiring. Something about it is admirable. Absolutely. This was her therapy. Wendy needed this. Yes, she did. You guys, my eyebrows have been like I don't know why. Like, I guess it's like a nervous tick that's happening, child. I have no idea why. My respect level for Wendy went through the roof. I have always been indifferent to her. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't, but her hustle was almost unmatched. She always had a plan. For sure. For sure. Okay? Thank you, Bonnie, for the great review. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I definitely wanted to give y'all a well-rounded review. Travel light, travel far, Wendy Williams. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. It pisses me off for Wendy that him and Sharina over there living it up off her checks. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Okay. I realized, hey, Rant Ricardo. I always just say ranting Ricardo instead of saying ranting with Ricardo. Can I just call you Ricardo? I realized that Backwoods and Milk Dud having a baby girl is what really hurt Wendy because of one of her miscarriages. Yes, not the miscarriage. When she had, thank you for the PayPal. I appreciate you. When she lost the baby and had to give birth to the stillborn baby, that was a little girl. So that definitely hurt her, because it's like, oh wow, you got to have the little girl with him that I lost. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to have like a cute little girl that I could dress up and all of that. And I also feel like the fact that Wendy talks about that little girl so much and references her so much, I think she goes back and forth. I think a part of Wendy would probably be somebody that would love that baby just because it's Kevin's baby and she loves Kevin. But the pride in her won't allow her to be that way. But I think she probably goes back and forth inside herself with hate and some type of emotional attachment to that little girl. It's not even about the Sharina bitch. It's about Kevin having a little girl. You know what I'm saying? And her feeling like that was supposed to be her baby. Thank you for the super sticker. Okay. Let me see what else y'all are saying. Why do I need to drink more water, and why do you assume you know how much water I drink? You're a weirdo. Wendy definitely paved the way for Black commentary for sure. She may raise the baby girl better than she was raised in an emotional way, I feel, for sure. I really feel bad for baby Wendy. So much to unpack, for sure. I feel bad for little girl Wendy that was made to feel like her being herself was not enough, that her being herself was problematic. I know what that feels like, to grow up feeling like just you being yourself, not trying to bother anybody, but just you being who you are is pissing somebody off, and you just have no idea why. Okay? Okay. Is this the best Lifetime biopic? No. It's good. It's close. But I feel like we've gotten better Lifetime biopics. Let's throw some names out there. The Yaya DaCosta version of the Whitney Houston situation. There was also a Bobby and Whitney story as well. I think that's the Yaya DaCosta one. I'm not sure. That one was good. The Clark sisters was the best, for sure. Fucking sure. Thank you, LL. Her tenacity is admirable, but definitely a reminder that self-care and self-love is important, for sure. For sure. The Clark sisters was the best. Yes. I think we can all agree to that, for sure. Because when I think back on it, yes. Oh, because my eyebrow was twitching. I didn't know those two things had anything to do with one another. I drink a lot of water. I work out all the time. Usually all I drink is kombucha, water, and tea. That's all I drink. I promise. But like, how does that? I mean, it could just be because I work out a lot. I don't know. Like, I be feeling like the muscles in my face are doing the most sometimes. Okay, that chair breaking at the party did take me out, though. I can't lie. That was fucked up. So one of the things we saw from Wendy when she was a kid was when they were playing musical chairs at this little white girl's house, and Wendy sits on the chair and wins musical chairs. The white girl's crying because she lost, and then the chair breaks on Wendy. I was like, what kind of chair did y'all have? Because I just kind of feel like, yeah, Wendy might have been big, but I've seen bigger fucking kids, and I've seen plastic chairs outside survive fatter people. So I feel, like what y'all was trying to do over there. Who unscrewed something on the chair? Y'all was trying to do that shit. Okay. Anyway, New Edition. Was New Edition Lifetime or VH1? And I think TLC was VH1 as well. Oh no, it was BET. Okay. BET and VH1 do better with the biopics, in my opinion. But yes, y'all. Yeah, that chair was cheap. Just living in your truth pisses people off. That is very true. You think that was drama? I think she actually broke the chair. I just think the chair was probably one of them little bitty kitty chairs. 60 and 70 chairs weren't built for big bodies. Okay. I enjoyed this live. Love your commentary. Thank you so much. I'm glad you feel like that, because I'm about to go. Because I have to go work out. Twitching brows and eyes are a sign of stress or fatigue sometimes, and relaxation is needed. It's probably more so that. I've been working myself crazy. I don't know if y'all have realized that, but y'all have got like at least 14 videos in this week. Okay, so yeah, I'm a little tired. That's what it feels like. It feels more so, you know, like a my face is tired situation than I'm not getting enough water. Like there's literally a bottle of water right there. Like, trust me, girl. Me and these big ass bottles of Fiji, get it in. Okay. But yes, love you guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Thank you everybody for the cash apps, for the super chats, for the PayPals. I appreciate y'all so much. I forgot to put up the cash app banner, but whatever. Okay, I appreciate everybody that super chatted for this video. I love y'all so much. I hope y'all continue to have a really good Sunday. And yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow for Real Housewives of Atlanta.